So you guys go another 80 or 90 miles to Erebor. Let's do an arrival roll. Let's have your guide do an arrival roll.
Right.
Yeah, this is where we get advantage or whatever.
How do I roll one of those? Because I only see embarkation on my...
You know what? I think I said I was going to roll that. But let me see if you can roll it now. Is it in the macros setting?
Yeah, I'll go search for it. What is the... Let me put that in the bar. What does it use?
So the modifier is... so let's see. You do a 1d8 plus any modifiers that I give you.
It says embark and terrain mod.
Yep. Yep. So for that, we'll do see an embarkation roll. Yeah, we'll give you.
We got a 12.
We'll give you a +2 on this one.
So in this input box, I should put a 2.
Yeah.
All right. I don't know how this is gonna go off of, like, what is 1d8? Is there any like skill associated with it, or is it just a 1d8?
It's a 1d8 plus modifiers. It looks like.
All right. Well.
Okay.
Wow.
All right. It's not, like I said, this arrival roll is not going to matter much because you're with a dwarf from Erebor, and you're also going to take you're going to have some fellowship period after this. But it says arrival in poor spirits. They are beset by foul moods and short tempers that they must work hard to throw off. They are considered disadvantaged on all rolls pertaining to social interactions, until such time as they succeed in one of these rolls. This penalty will apply if they seek an audience at the destination. If there is a single upside to the dark mood, it is that they are so spoiling for a fight that each member of the company receives advantage to their initiative rolls should they find themselves in combat at the destination. But again, you're not really... Don't worry about it for now. I just wanted to try it out.
Okay.
Okay, so you guys are in Erebor, and the throne room is a little farther down the hall. Dane stands up. Actually, you see these people here. Let me introduce you to them. I didn't show you what. So this is Loney. This is the dwarf one of the dwarves you met before. Nice. This is Nali. Some of them were at the council and fellowship. So this guy's here.
Aha!
This guy's here.
Uncle.
This guy's here. And
That dude's awesome.
yeah, he is.
Still CGI.
Yeah. And this guy.
That guy's there?
He is. Yes, he is.
Yeah, where the fuck has that guy been?
Yeah. Dude, please walk up to him and go, "Hey, where the fuck you been?"
So whoever has the lore card about wizards, there's a fair amount of
I have it. I'm sure that Elf has it too.
Yeah.
Yep, both of them.
Is this the guy with the twin or whatever?
Yeah, well, I don't know if they're twins necessarily, but there are 2 blue wizards, and they're the first wizards to be sent into the east of Middle-earth to sort of rouse up rebellion against Sauron.
Yeah, so the blue wizard...
No one's heard of them in thousands of years, though.
So when the wizards first came, Alatar was actually... they say he's possibly even more powerful than Saruman. And he and Saruman both volunteered to be placed on Arda. They had to actually ask Gandalf and the others to come. But Alatar and the other blue wizard went into Rune, which is the land
east of
Yeah, very very far east, and the wizards, the blue wizards, are attributed as the people that kept the people of Rune from joining Sauron.
Who are the Easterlings?
The Easterlings?
Yeah,
I believe, I don't know exactly where they come from.
they're like different from. They're different from the Southrons or whatever.
Yeah,
So,
I think they come from south of Mordor.
oh, interesting. Okay.
But they're not really in this tale.
Okay. Just
so
curious what the difference was.
So you guys come in and to the throne room, and Dane gets up and he's like, Burren, my boy. He embraces you. He's like, oh. It's like, yes. He's like, yes. You've seen some action on this trip, I can tell.
You have no idea.
And he says, what we talked about, have you done it?
It's in progress.
And
Do we know what he's talking about?
No.
We traveled with this guy for 1 month, and he doesn't tell us what his purpose is.
We have the same purpose. Kind of.
Okay. All right.
Kind of. Yes, I mean, I would greet him with like the traditional like headbutt,
Yeah.
and I'd be like, King Dane, is there some quarters we could retreat to? We're just passing through on our journey, and we need some quarters for the evening.
He says, absolutely, stay as long as you want. And that's when Altar steps forward, and he says, but do not delay too long. I would not risk more than a few days in Erebor. He introduces himself to you and says, you're being hunted. He says, even now the enemy prepares a monstrous creature of old. And he's learned this foul deed that he's doing. He's basically creating a wolf to hunt you, and he says he's doing it in the same method that his master taught him. And he says this has been done once before with Dragluin and Karkaroth.
Karkaroth.
I will wear the pelt.
Karkaroth is basically Sauron, though, right?
No,
Or is that different? Oh no, Karkaroth is the one that fought.
Huon.
Yeah.
So do you want to explain this to anybody?
Sure. Do I actually know this story, or?
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Okay, I don't know if Farador knows this, but basically, one of the hounds of, is it Orome?
Yeah.
Is I keep saying Juan in my head. I don't know if it's right.
Juan.
Juan the dog.
It's Huon.
Juan. Okay, Juan. That sounds better than Juan. So there's one of the almost immortal dogs of Orome was given to Felron Felagin. Is that right? Finrod Felagin.
Yeah, I mean, basically, do you remember the quotes that I put about Karkaroth in the chat? Let me get them for you.
Yeah, he's like some beast-ass werewolf that Morgoth made, or Morgoth trained, I guess. I don't know. And it's tied into the whole Baron Luthien thing. He like eats Baron's hand while he's holding the Silmaril.
Oh, that sounds nice.
Yeah.
This is the quote.
The Dragluin.
So basically, there was the big bad back in the day named Morgoth, or Melkor is what he was originally called, and he was one of the Valar basically who went bad, and he was always kind of bad, and he was Sauron is actually kind of like the angel of Morgoth, even though Sauron has kind of been the bad guy the main bad for a long time. And what Morgoth did is he basically like fed his power into this wolf, and basically fed like live elves and men, and created this wolf for one purpose, to hunt. And so Sauron is actually, Alatar tells you that Sauron is trying his hand at this, and that very soon the wolf will be ready to leave Mordor. And he says, what you carry with you, you need to get it to the elves. And he says, whether that be, he doesn't mention Thranduil's name. He says, whether that be Rivendell or Lorien, you need to seek their counsel and seek their help.
Angelin would say, "Can you help aid us in this journey? I know of who you are and know you're a very powerful figure."
He says, I have just come from the last meeting of the White. Or he says, I've just come from the Council of White, and I'm traveling back to my realm. On my way from Rivendell, I stopped by Erebor, and he's basically the one who asked King Dane to send Búrin on this mission. He says, but my time here is through. If you need help, there are other wizards along the way, but seek friendships in the elves, and hope that this wolf does not find you.
So, I guess we should do some thinking as to where we should go. So,
Jared, would I be able to discreetly ask him about the creature from the well, if he knows anything about it?
Yeah, you totally could. So, he calls this wolf Taurmyrnoth. Taurmyrnoth is what he calls him, and its name means large black jaws.
Okay.
So that's what he calls the wolf. So anything, I say before we leave here tonight, I'd like to know where you're heading, and a few things, food for thought. If you are going either of those places, you have to go through Mirkwood. So you have to tell me, how you're going through Mirkwood. There are basically two paths, and at this point, I wish Josh was here because he would have an opinion about this, and so would Angelin. And the other piece of this to consider is, at this point in the year, let me give you a date. So after your travels, after you're done in Erebor, you'll leave to pass through Mirkwood, if I can get Google Sheets to work here, on November 23rd, day 38 of your travels. So November 23rd is the mountains are going to be almost impassable. Not to mention, there are goblins. The Goblin King is looking for
us.
So those two things to consider. So what are you guys thinking?
sounds like Lorien to me.
Yeah, I guess that's probably the best choice.
It's closer. I mean, I don't know.
You're by going to Lorien, you also are getting closer to Mordor.
Yeah, but So you're saying, so if we were going to try to get back to Rivendell, we would just head directly west.
Right. To an almost impassable misty mountains where you're being hunted by the goblins, or you can head south
that way,
or where you're being hunted.
Can we see that map? Let's pull up that map again.
Sure. Which one did you want?
Just like general Middle Earth map.
All right. Let me do the middle. I'll do the Wilderland map for you.
Yeah. There you go.
So you guys are over in Erebor.
Yep.
So you would either travel sort of the elf path or go to the Old Forest Road if you're going to head that way.
No Old Forest Road.
Some of you might have an opinion about this. Josh's character actually would suggest the Old Forest Road, and I don't know how Anglin feels, but Anglin, that is where you had your juvenile experience that sort of kind of set you on your path.
Yeah. I mean, he would probably be okay with it because he knows it would be, a quick route, but he would mention that there's evil there that, we don't want to deal with either, and that he's had experience with in the past.
So Riken's character would say, if you guys go to Lorien, Riken would say we're going to pass by Mountain Hall, and we should stop by and for a rest with my people. And he would suggest Old Forest Road, probably. But some of you probably feel passionately the other way too. If you go the elf path, you'll have to cross through Thranduil's sort of territory.
Also, is it right?
I would also caution the group that I'm not welcome in Thranduil's territory, and that it could cause trouble for the group if we went that way, and I was caught with them. It'd be like Anglin would be like, well, I didn't leave on the best of terms with them.
Yeah, I mean, we're gonna have to, if we go the elven path, we're gonna have to treat with the king for sure. There's no getting past them without them noticing. So,
Which would make Anglin pretty not keen on that idea.
yeah, normally the elf would be the best selling point for
Yeah, no,
making our way through, but.
Yeah, he's been exiled, so.
Alright, it sounds like our choice is pretty much decided for us. We have to. I mean, there's no going around Mirkwood, right? That leads us way too close to.
Really close to Mordor, yeah.
Yeah, we want to cut through if we can. Alright, so Old Forest Road to. So, you said Mountain Hall, but Mountain Hall's right along the mountains. Do we actually want to do that, or do we want to head down the Anduin?
That's again, I wish Josh was here to sort of chime in, but he says that I guess if I could speak for him for now, he says that if they're being pursued, then they have friends at Mountain Hall.
Okay.
So that's a consideration. That fording the Anduin is not very fast.
Yeah.
So if for example you were able to get horses from King Dane or possibly some of the people of Dale, traveling to Mountain Hall might not be a bad idea, and you could do it much quicker than just floating in a boat.
Urine would lean in and talk to King Dane and ask him where his father is and what he's doing.
Well, King Dane says privately that he says your father has almost been driven mad by the thought of retaking Khazak Dûn, and so he's pretty sure that he's started up near Gundabad and basically gone on Durin's march down to Demeril Dale, to the Mirror.
Hey, we're heading there. Well, sort of. We could be heading there. So, do we know if maybe the Blue Wizard would know, but do we know if the High Pass is still being held by the Bayernings?
Well, you had a couple people take the High Pass, and what did you guys find on the High Pass?
Is that me and Riken?
Yep.
That was when we ran into the goblins, right?
And that's where you're being hunted now.
Yeah.
Okay, so that would be a no.
and by the time you get there, it's going to be sort of beginning of December, maybe mid-December. It'll be very, very difficult.
There'll be trolls as well.
Yep.
All right.
Okay, so am I to think that you guys are heading Old Forest Road to Lorien?
I'd say
Yeah, I mean-
probably, yeah.
It's a good way south of the old forest road, right?
It's not like the one that I would choose, but that doesn't seem like there's any other good options.
Yeah.
I mean, your ultimate goal, Gildor told you basically, get this object back to me at Bree, is what he said. But you guys need some refuge. You need some allies, and Alatar is suggesting that you seek out either the elves at Rivendell or the elves in Lorien.
But he has no idea how we would pass the mountains to get to Rivendell.
No, he thinks it's really not a good idea to go the high pass.
All right.
He does say that, if you can make it as far as Lorien, you do have allies down there. So Rohan is down there, Isengard is down there. If you can make it around the southern tip of the Misty Mountains, he thinks your chances, if you can sort of avoid Taurmyrnoth, you would be home free, so to speak.